It all started when Rihanna made a subtle but unmistakable move that had the internet in chaos. At a high-profile fashion gala just weeks ago, she walked past Beyonce without so much as a nod. Cameras caught every second the tension, the quick glance, and Beyonce's tight smile that seemed to hide a storm underneath. Social media exploded within minutes, with fans dissecting every frame like it was a crime scene video. The hashtag Rihanna Shade trended worldwide, and people were asking, was this a one-time awkward moment or a sign of a deeper rift between two of music's most powerful women? The drama didn't stop there. Chris Brown, of all people, decided to step into the storm. He liked and then quickly unliked a fan edit that put Rihanna's better-than energy over Beyonce's stage presence. The screenshot of his like spread faster than wildfire. It was as if he had thrown gasoline on an already burning feud. Many saw it as his way of reigniting old wounds and inserting himself right back into a storyline he's been linked to for years. Behind the scenes, insiders claim that this tension isn't new, it's been simmering for over a decade. Rihanna and Beyonce have shared stages, award shows, and industry circles, but those close to the scene insist it's always been an unspoken competition. They respect each other, one insider whispered, but they're not friends. And there's a big difference between the two. The most recent spark was particularly explosive because it came right after Beyonce's latest tour announcement. Rihanna's subtle shade the snub, the carefully timed Instagram story playing her own unreleased track the same night as Beyonce's teaser felt too pointed to be coincidence. Fans took sides, with the Navy calling it a power move and the Beehive blasting Rihanna for what they saw as petty behavior. But here's where Chris Brown's involvement makes the pot boil over. His history with Rihanna is complicated, painful, and still controversial. His sudden interaction with content pitting Rihanna against Beyonce wasn't just messy, it was calculated. Sources claim he's been telling friends in private that Beyonce gets too much credit and that Rihanna has more raw star power. Whether he truly believes that or just wants to stir chaos is anyone's guess, but either way, he's reopened old wounds and sparked new battles. And according to people inside the industry, there's even more to this than what fans saw on social media. Apparently, there have been private conversations and heated ones between the camps. Rihanna's team reportedly wasn't happy when Beyonce's people hinted at wanting to release a certain collaborative project without giving Rihanna full creative control. That deal never went through, but the resentment never disappeared either. Add in the fact that both women's tours and releases often end up competing for the same spotlight, and you have a recipe for constant low-level tension ready to explode at any moment. To truly understand why this recent gala snub was so explosive, we have to go back to 2008 to 2009, the era when all three names first collided in a storm of headlines, chart wars, and whispers. Back then, Rihanna was riding high on the success of Good Girl Gone Bad, dominating charts with hits like Umbrella and Disturbia. Beyonce, already an established global icon, had just released I Am Sasha Fierce and was untouchable in the industry. Chris Brown, meanwhile, was the golden boy of R&B, publicly dating Rihanna and being hailed as the next Michael Jackson. Then came the infamous 2009 incident that changed everything. The altercation between Chris and Rihanna on the night of the Grammys shook the world. Public opinion turned sharply, careers were put under a microscope, and suddenly, the music industry had to pick sides. Beyonce, who had previously been seen as cordial with both, kept her public comments measured, some say to measured. Rumors swirled that Rihanna felt Beyonce could have been more vocal in her support, especially as other artists rallied around her in that difficult time. Whispers got louder in 2011, when Rihanna and Beyonce were both up for major awards at the Billboard Music Awards. Fans noticed that while Beyonce got a lavish tribute performance, Rihanna's segment felt rushed. Was it favoritism? The Navy thought so. The Beehive brushed it off as pure coincidence, but the tension between fan bases had officially begun. Chris Brown re-entered the picture in a big way in 2012 when he and Rihanna briefly reconciled publicly. This was during the time Beyonce was deep into her Mrs. Carter brand and her marriage to Jay-Z was the music industry's gold standard. Jay-Z, of course, had a long and complicated history with Rihanna as one of the first people to sign her to Def Jam. Industry insiders claimed Jay-Z was furious with Rihanna for letting Chris back into her life, while Beyonce quietly stood by her husband's stance. It wasn't just a personal matter, it was business, image, and loyalty all tangled together. By 2013, Rihanna had started throwing subtle shade, or at least fans thought she did. At the MTV VMAs that year, she was caught on camera scrolling her phone during Beyonce's performance. While some defended her as just being unbothered, others saw it as a deliberate message: I don't care for your act. That clip went viral, sparking the first real fan war between the Navy and the Beyhive on Twitter. Chris Brown didn't help matters in 2014 when he gave a radio interview and called Rihanna one of the greatest artists of all time, but added that Beyonce is more polished. Rihanna is more raw. That raw comment was interpreted by some as a dig at Beyonce's perfectionism and by others as an attempt to pit the two women against each other for his own attention-seeking. Fast forward to the Lemonade era in 2016, and things got messy again. Beyonce's album was a cultural earthquake, with Becky with the good hair becoming a meme overnight. Fans started linking the Becky narrative to old rumors about Jay-Z and other women, and yes, Rihanna's name popped up in some of those messy Twitter threads. While there's no hard proof Rihanna had anything to do with those lyrics, just the suggestion kept the fire between fanbases alive. Then came the 2019 Roc Nation brunch, the infamous one where Rihanna and Beyonce posed for group photos but never took a solo picture together. Social media lit up with questions. Are they cool? Are they avoiding each other? Chris Brown added fuel to the fire just days later when he randomly commented on one of Rihanna's posts with flame emojis, sparking headlines and fan outrage. And now, here we are in 2025, the tension has simmered for over a decade, and the recent gala moment has cracked the surface wide open. With Chris Brown once again making noise in the background, Beyonce and Rihanna's silent competition spilling into the public eye, and the internet doing what it does best, this might be the biggest chapter yet in their complicated saga. Back in the early 2010s, there was serious buzz about a possible Rihanna-Beyonce duet. Fans were excited. The Navy and the Beyhive even called it the dream collab, but according to multiple industry insiders, it never materialized because the vibe in the room between the two was frosty. One source claimed Beyonce's team wanted total creative control, while Rihanna's camp refused to let her be watered down. Another claimed Jay-Z himself was hesitant, fearing a joint song might blur the branding lines between his wife and his protege. Meanwhile, Chris Brown was playing his own game. He'd been blacklisted from many mainstream award shows after 2009, but he was still making hits. Every time Rihanna had a big career moment, especially those that put her in Beyonce's orbit, Chris would pop up with a song, a comment, or even a random remix that kept his name tied to hers. Industry gossip says this wasn't by accident. It was his way of staying relevant through the most talked about woman in music. The 2016 Met Gala incident only added fuel to the fire. Both Beyonce and Rihanna were in attendance, wearing jaw-dropping outfits that dominated fashion headlines. Photos surfaced of Beyonce looking directly at Rihanna in a group shot, but with an expression so unreadable that fans began dissecting it like the Zapruder film. Rihanna didn't help matters when she posted a solo pic captioned, "We ain't worried 'bout nothing." The Navy swore it was shade. The Beyhive insisted it was just being Ri, but in Hollywood, even not speaking can be a message. Then there was the Roc Nation power struggle. Rihanna signed with Roc Nation management in 2010, meaning she and Beyonce technically shared the same business umbrella, and Jay-Z had a foot in both worlds. This gave rise to some messy whispers. Was Rihanna being sidelined for Beyonce's benefit? Did Beyonce feel threatened by Ri's global takeover in fashion, beauty, and music? And on the flip side, did Rihanna resent the fact that Beyonce had access to the kind of royal treatment in the industry that even she couldn't always get? Let's not forget the Diddy connection. In 2020, rumors swirled about an all-star collaboration for a charity project that could have featured Beyonce, Rihanna, and several other big names. Word is, Rihanna backed out after Diddy allegedly tried to involve Chris Brown. When news of her withdrawal leaked, the narrative in some corners was that she was difficult to work with, but the Navy saw it as her standing her ground. Beyonce stayed in the project, fueling more talk that she was too comfortable around industry figures Rihanna wanted no part of. And the Beyonce Basquiat Jay-Z rumors? Oh, those were messy. When Jay-Z posed for photos in front of a Basquiat painting in 2021, it reignited old speculation about his past and certain friendships in the art scene. Rihanna's fans were quick to recall that she'd been spotted at private Basquiat showings years earlier, long before that famous Jay-Z picture. While there's no proof of a direct link, gossip sites fanned the flames, suggesting there was more history between Rihanna and Jay-Z than the public knew, and that Beyonce's carefully curated brand couldn't allow that story to get oxygen. Chris Brown, of course, was never far from the headlines in these moments. He's been accused of using strategic chaos, dropping cryptic lyrics, liking old photos of Rihanna, and even name-dropping Beyonce in interviews to keep himself in the conversation and poke at the tension between the two women. Now here, in 2025, after that recent public spark, all these old wounds feel fresh again. It's not just about a single gala snub, it's years of quiet shade, calculated moves, and unresolved history coming to the surface. The ending scene. Picture this, the next big award show. Rihanna and Beyonce are both in the front row. Cameras are everywhere. Chris Brown is performing. He steps off stage, walks straight toward the crowd. And for a split second, everyone holds their breath. Will he go to Rihanna? Will he nod at Beyonce? The air is thick, the cameras are rolling, and the entire world is ready to dissect every glance, every smirk, every nonverbal move, because with these three, even silence is drama and the story is far from over. 2008-2009, the explosion theus is where everything really started. Rihanna and Chris Brown were Hollywood's golden young couple until that infamous night before the Grammys. The photos of Rihanna's injuries shocked the world and put Chris at the center of one of the most infamous scandals in music history. Beyonce, who was already in superstar territory, publicly stayed silent on the matter, but she performed If I Were a Boy at that year's Grammys with a rawness that some fans swore was aimed at the situation. Behind the scenes, rumors swirled that Jay-Z was furious with Chris and didn't want him anywhere near Rihanna again. 2011-2012, the friendly again, phase against all odds, Rihanna and Chris started working together again, remixing each other's songs. The public was divided. Some saw it as forgiveness, others as a betrayal to survivors of abuse. Beyonce's reaction? Still silence. But interestingly, around this time, Rihanna was rumored to be iced out of certain high-profile music collaborations involving Rock Nation artists. Was this coincidence or quiet business politics at work? 2013, the first Beyonce vs. Rihanna fan war. Beyonce dropped her Mrs. Carter Show World Tour visuals, projecting an image of perfection, family, and power. Rihanna, meanwhile, was deep into her good girl gone bad persona, edgy, raw, and unapologetic. When Rihanna made a few Instagram posts that seemed to mock fake perfect relationships, the Bayhive took it as a direct shot at Beyonce's image. Rihanna never confirmed it, but the shade interpretations went viral. 2014-2016, the Andy and Lemonade Erathis was the height of their unspoken competition. Rihanna's Andy was a cultural moment, unapologetically experimental, fashion-forward, and fiercely independent. Beyonce's Lemonade dropped just months later, with themes of betrayal, love, and power. Fans were convinced they were subtly responding to each other through their art, adding fuel to the fire. The Met Gala 2016 moment happened, that famous icy photo with both women in the frame but miles apart in body language. 2018, the power shift. Be now, Rihanna had become more than a singer, she was a billionaire beauty mogul with Fenty dominating fashion and cosmetics in ways Beyonce hadn't attempted. Industry insiders whispered that this was when the competition between them shifted from music to empire building. Chris Brown, in his own lane, began popping up with random compliments about Rihanna on social media, timed suspiciously close to her big career wins. 2020, the Diddy and charity rumor. During the height of pandemic charity live streams, Diddy was reportedly trying to put together a mega collaboration involving Beyonce, Rihanna, and others.